So we're going to have dessert in 5 minutes, but I feel responsible to just share a couple of things about Carol. For those, it's interesting to me how many people don't know her that are here, because to me, she was just part of the company that everyone should know her, but then I realized there are people that we've represented that are, in the last 10 years and they didn't know her. You hear the stories, but there's a couple of things I want to share. One is the B word. So what's the word that comes to your mind when you hear the B word? So, thanks, Fred. I feel like it's a Laurel and Hardy thing. Okay, who's up first? So, Carol was alive, and we worked together. And even before that, even when she had her stores, the B word was used all the time. And it was offensive, but she kind of understood it. But it troubled her, because she never really felt intentionally like she was trying to be difficult, but she really cared very deeply. And from that passion and intensity, both of us sometimes projected things that maybe were perceived differently than we intended. But the interesting thing about the B word is that after she died, the B word still existed, but now it's not bitch, it's brilliant. And I can't tell you how many stories, we don't have the time, I'd keep you here for hours to tell you the stories that people tell, that I heard when she was alive, that they talked about and said what a bitch she was. Blah, 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 blah. And then when she died, she said, the same story, she was freaking brilliant. What an amazing businesswoman, but it was the same story. And I just thought that was sad, because she really, she was very sensitive, and she really didn't show that, but she really did feel, she worried that people would remember her, and she even talked about that with me before she passed away. Do you think people will remember you? Like, trust me, you will be legendary. But there's one story that I want to share, because to me it was so indicative of how crazy she was, but really it made sense. So one thing was, she wore this necklace that I had actually intended to wear tonight that had these charms on it. And so when she, and some of you heard the story, and some of you lived the story. So when she walked, you could hear the charms clanging. And so if you were a vendor and you were where you were supposed to be, now granted, we worked for you, but if you weren't where you were supposed to be, and you heard her coming with the charms, you immediately ran to your line and picked up the clipboard and said, Carol, I'm ready to write an order. And I always thought that was so fascinating that we worked for them. And they heard, there was like the Pavlov's dog, they heard the chain and they immediately went to their place. And when I first started working for her, when she was a partner in another rep firm, she had this thing about the clipboard and the order form. And I tell the story all the time, because to me it just at the time seemed batshit crazy, but she was in essence right. So you have to have the clipboard ready, and you have to have the pen, and you have to have a retractable pen, because if you have a cap, it takes you a minute and an extra hand to take the cap off the pen. So you need a retractable pen, and you can write your name on the order, because your name isn't going to change all day. And you're going to write at least one order, so you can put the date on your order, and then you're ready to write the order. And so if she walked up to anybody with a clipboard in their hand, or not in their hand, God forbid, all of those things had to happen, or she felt you weren't prepared, and you would not be happy if she noticed that you weren't prepared. But that was her passion and her caring for what she did. So yes, she was called a bitch, but then later on, that was brilliant. I'm glad you're here. She would have been thrilled to be part of this, and she would be thrilled to know we're all doing this and that we're all remembering her, because she was the core of the company. So let's have dessert and call it a night till the 40th.